All right, you're locked in. You're welcome to United Talks podcast, the only place where you need to be for real talk, deep dives, and brutal truths about our beloved club, Manchester United. Now, basically, we're going to be talking specifically about a player, as we always do, as the culture of the channel. Today, player profile for our new signing in Senne Lammens. Basically, Manchester United completed a sign of the new goalkeeper, Senne Lammens, and we are, going to talk about what he brings to the club. Let's be real, the last few weeks has felt a bit chaotic, a little chaotic. I mean, a bit like trying to catch up, catch a, greased up football in a hurricane. I mean, let's think about it from the perspective of what is going on. I mean, the goalkeeping situation at Old Trafford has been the talk of the town. I mean, the subject of countless memes and honestly, the source of a whole lot of anxiety. I mean, we've seen Altabander make a costly error on the opening day against Arsenal, and we also watched André Onana have a stinker, a shaky and frankly confidence shaking display in the Carabao Cup. For a player who I thought basically really started really well at United, came with so much confidence after an impressive Champions League final against Man City with Inter Milan, it's been really chaotic, with regards to him, being the villain and the person responsible for Manchester United's exit from the Carabao Cup. And the manager himself, Rúben Amorim, even admitted that it was a moment where every possession near our box they can score. This was in the post-match press conference for the game against Burnley, right? So it was a crisis, an urgent problem that needed an immediate solution, and then in a move that felt both surprising and yet perfectly logical. I mean, we brought you some news few weeks ago talking about this whole goalkeeper situation, and we talked about basically what Man United could do, right, to remedy the situation, right? So basically, Man United went for a new goalkeeper on deadline day, a 23-year-old Belgian kid. I mean, there's been back and forth with Royal Antwerp for the player, and his name is Senne Lammens. Senne Lammens, I mean, if you are thinking Senne who, and then it's just another stopgap signing, nah. Let me tell you, you are in for a ride. This is a temporary fix. This is not a temporary fix, rather. It is a cold, calculated, data-driven solution that changes everything, especially when it comes to Manchester United. It is a cold, data-driven solution that changes everything for Man United, especially in the goalkeeping department. Today, we're doing a deep dive, a proper, forensic analysis of, a proper forensic analysis into the man we're calling the future Courtois, or Courtois Jr., as the case may be. We are breaking down his style of play, his insane stats, his past, his weaknesses, his strengths. I mean, most importantly, we are answering the million-dollar question: does Senne Lammens actually fix our goalkeeper problem at Manchester United? So grab a coffee and sit back and get ready. I mean, this is a conversation you've been waiting for. So let's talk about it, because obviously it's been making the rounds on social media with everybody talking about if Man United have made a mistake in signing Senne Lammens over Dibu Martinez and stuff like that. So now, the question is, why Senne Lammens? Why now? Right? Now, the context is very crucial here. For weeks, the talk around the club, was that we were desperately chasing a World Cup winner and an experienced Premier League proven shotstopper in Emiliano Martinez. And most people wanted it. Negotiations were even advanced, with reports of a contract agreed between him and the club. And then, in a dramatic, almost theatrical deadline, day pivot, the club changed course. They moved on a young, unproven talent from the Belgian Pro League. Now, it cost us a cool 21 million euros, with another 4 million euros in add-ons, which is roughly around 18.2 million pounds. And for, that kind of money, the 23-year-old, for a 23-year-old, this is not a bench warmer. This is not a project to be hidden away. This is kind of like a declaration of intent from Rúben Amorim and the director of football, Jason Wilcox, as they are building the future, not just trying to pitch or to patch up the present. They are confident that he can compete immediately, and this is a long-term signing as well. The kid signed a 5-year deal, locking him down until 2030. That's how much the club believes in his potential. And when you look at the journey, his journey, it's not hard to see why. Talking about how he started his career, Lammens started his career coming through the famous Club Brugge Academy, the same place that produced some incredible talents. While there, he even scored a stoppage time headed equalizer in the UEFA Youth League match against Real Madrid on the 19th side. What kind of goalkeeper does that, right? Let's think about it. He spent time as an understudy to the legend Simon Mignolet before actually making a bold move at the end of his contract in June 2023. He went to Royal Antwerp, and that's actually where he really broke through. After initially being a backup, he took over the starting role at the beginning of 24-25 season and never looked back. He made 64 appearances for them and helped them win the Belgian Super Cup in 2023. And his performances were so good that he was called up to the senior Belgium national team squad for the first time in March of 2025. This is a player on a very steep upward trajectory, and United swooped in at the perfect moment. But you don't sign a goalkeeper just because he's on the rise. You sign him because of what he does on the pitch. And that is pretty much what everybody is, asking. Like, how does he fit this system? How does he play in this system? What does he bring to Manchester United? Now to the part where you've all been waiting for. This nitty-gritty, basically, now the nitty-gritty of the whole detail, the breakdown of everything in between, right? Now, we're going to be talking about his style of play. What does the numbers tell us with regards to Senne Lammens? Let's start with his biggest major draw-dropping strength, right? His shots stopping ability, right? He's not just good. It's a statistic. He is getting my words out. Let's start with the biggest, most jaw-dropping strength, his shot stopping. And this is not just good, it's statistically elite. During the 24-25 season, Lammens had an incredible 81.4% save percentage. To put that in perspective, André Onana's save percentage last season was 68.9%. It's a huge difference. But the real kicker here is that the one that tells you everything you need to know is the goals prevented. That is the major thing that we need to talk about in this situation with regards to Senne Lammens. The goals prevented metric, or PSXG or GA, right? So more like PS, the XG goals prevented, and goals against, more like versus goals against. Now this measures how many goals a keeper saves compared to the ability of the shots he faces, the quality of the shots he faces. Lammens recorded a staggering 14.5 goals prevented last season. That is a world-class figure. How does that compare to Onana? Last season, he had a goals prevented. That's basically André Onana. He had the goals prevented of just 1.0. The numbers don't lie. In the most crucial area of goalkeeping, Lammens is on a different level, right? On a different level. So kind of like plus 1.0 for André Onana, and then plus 14.5 for Senne Lammens. And it depends on, obviously, we're not going to shy away from talking about the league where he played. Senne Lammens played in the Belgian league, so there is also that kind of conversation or that talk there on that, right? So now it's not just a shot stopping. Let's talk about his aerial ability, right? At just 6'4" Lammens has the commanding physical presence, and his stats back that up as well. He ranks in the 99th percentile for crosses stopped, successfully intercepting 13.2% of all deliveries into the box. And this is a game changer for a United side. And we're just talking about stats here. I wouldn't say that I've sat down to really watch this player and stuff, but we're just talking about stats in general, right? He only stopped just 5% of crosses faced in the past year. This is what Onana did, right? Now, the United side has struggled with vulnerabilities from set pieces and crosses for years. Onana, by contrast, has only stopped 5% of his crosses faced in the past year. Lammens' ability to come out and claim those balls will bring a level of calm and confidence to the backline that we desperately need. I don't know if you guys remember when André Onana first came in his first season, and that's Ten Hag's second season, I believe. Yeah, Ten Hag's second season. André Onana came in preseason and was screaming at Harry Maguire and screaming at everybody. How times have changed. Onana cannot scream at Maguire right now because obviously, you could tell that there is he is miles, Maguire is miles ahead of him. Onana trying to lead from the back, but the pressure of Manchester United has kind of put his shoulder down. It's so sad to see, but it is what it is. Now we're going to talk about mental fortitude for this player. With regards to his mental fortitude, this is a keeper that thrives under pressure. Lammens has developed a reputation as a penalty saving specialist, having saved 5 spot kicks in the past year alone. His penalty save percentage ranks in the 98th percentile amongst his peers. This shows that he has the mental strength to handle high stakes moments, which is essential for a place like Old Trafford, right? With Gary Neville, which Gary Neville has famously called the most unforgiving ground for goalkeepers. I mean, you think about Fabian Barthez, you think about David De Gea, you think about Thomas Kuszczak, you think about Lindegaard. There's so many keepers that didn't really cut it. Even Henderson also didn't cut it. For Man United, was let go. And there's still some proper upcoming goalkeepers. Me, Radek Vitek, and the likes, right? But of course, he isn't perfect. I mean, we're going to talk about his strengths, which we just dealt with now, and then we're talking about his weaknesses, which can also be turned to strengths. He's imperfect. We have to be very realistic. His distribution, while competent, isn't on the same level as Onana. And even at the end, the last couple games anyway, Onana is an extra outfield player, a modern keeper who excels with his feet, but has struggled to show that at Manchester United. Maybe he could do that at a less pressure club, but yeah, he struggled to show that at Manchester United. And Lammens is comfortable using both feet, but it's not his primary strength. And a Belgian football expert has suggested that he could be unnerved by the high pressing schemes of the Premier League. This is an area he will undoubtedly need to work on. And also, we can't ignore the recent stats at the beginning of 25-26 season. Before his transfer, he conceded 4 goals in 4 matches and failed to keep a clean sheet. This is a reminder that while his last full season was brilliant, he's still human, and the pressure of a big money move and a transfer saga can affect anyone. I believe that is pretty much what really happened to him as Manchester United were circling in that regard. So let's kind of talk about the central question, the one everyone wants answered, and the question is, does he improve Manchester United's goalkeeping situation? That's a question everybody wants answered, right? Now, Lammens' arrival will kind of address a couple of things. Lammens' arrival, the core problem, addresses the core problem that we've always talked about, that has plagued Manchester United goalkeepers: a lack of confidence and consistency in shot stopping and a vulnerability to crosses. He is an elite shot stopper, a dominant area presence, and a keeper with the mental strength to handle the pressure. Those aren't just opinions. They are backed by, the data that I've kind of presented to you. Furthermore, his presence creates a genuine, healthy competition for the number 1 spot rather, when being in a player of his caliber. It forces everyone in that position to raise their game, But Lammens already is already having an effect. Just him joining the club, and this is not just a transfer that brings a new player. It's one that brings a new standard, brings in a new standard. And obviously, I don't want to come and say and bash a player like André Onana, saying, "Oh, André Onana should be this, André Onana should be that." I'm not going to come out and say that. But what I'm going to say is that obviously André Onana had so many chances, and Rúben Amorim gave him so many chances to prove himself, but he didn't. I'm going to also talk about André Onana pretty much in another video where we talked about the news that happened in the last 24 hours with regards to what he had to say. So basically, it's a new standard. It's a statement that says we will not settle for mediocrity in a position that is, so fundamental to our success. So the Lammens is not just a signing for today. He's a fundamental piece of tomorrow, or for our tomorrow. I mean, he's a decisive strategic move that addresses our biggest weaknesses and sets us up to compete for at the very top for years to come. I mean, he is the one that is signed for the future. And basically, we could go on and on talking about André Onana, talking about Senne Lammens and all of that. The bottom line is that we have 4 goalkeepers in the club, and there is a chance that one of them could still be sold. The transfer window is not closed in some countries. So Man United can still make sales. I mean, 20, 25, 30 million will be good for Onana, but we're going to talk about it in more details in another video. So that's it basically for Senne Lammens. We're going to talk further, when things unfold. But he's done his first interview. He's told us that he's worthy. He's looking forward to playing for Man United. It's his dream move and everything in between. So we're going to break it down when things open up and stuff. But let me know your thoughts and feelings. Is this guy going to be the next number one in this season? I know many people have started to put him in their starting lineup for the Man City game. I doubt he'll pretty much start. He won't start at all, but it is what it is. Let's continue to observe, and we will break it down as we go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you for helping us reach a milestone in our journey to in the community. I don't take all your likes, shares, and subscriptions for granted. We've been building this together. We've been growing together, and we will get to greater heights together. So thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.